Hey everybody, this is Bill Zany Man, one of three of great hosts of Top 5 A through Z, and the creator of the show. And I'd like to say a few things about Anchor. That's right, folks, Anchor is a great format to make podcasts. First of all, it's 100% free. You can't beat that. You never get charged a penny. When they say free, it really is free. There's great creation tools that let you record and edit your podcast right from your phone or PC. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on formats such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's really everything you need to make a podcast, and it's all in one place. You can't beat that. So, here is your mandatory call to action right here, folks. I need you to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, get yourself started, and you could be cool like Zany Man. Hello, everybody.
What's it?
Yeah. Welcome to Top 5 A through Z. This is Zany Man with Pete, comic book Pete Rango, and Top 5 Tom Whiteside, and Jason, whatever, Soto.
Yo, what's up?
We are on episode. This is actually the 10th episode, guys, if you count the A through D recap.
Oh,
this is number 10.
I don't count that. That's like a 0.5 episode to me.
Well, I put it like officially as an episode on the on Anchor.
Oh, that means wow, we're really gonna be off kilter because J is the 10th letter of the alphabet.
Yeah.
So that's just gonna be weird. But all right, I'll get used to it.
You can do it like a comic book where it says 0.1. You know, it's the 0.1 episode.
There you go. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a guest.
Yeah, that's me.
Hi. Okay, I'll do it. So our guest tonight was my former podcast partner, and we did the show called The Lair, the Unwanted. I'm sure you can find it somewhere out in the internet. We covered bad movies for 11 years, which seems to be blowing these guys' mind. So welcome, Nolahn. Hi, Nolahn. Welcome to the madness that is a Top 5 A through Z podcast.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you, everyone. I'm psyched to be here. Yes, you can indeed still find episodes of The Lair of the Unwanted. They're all floating out in the internet like so much driftwood. I don't know. You get the idea.
Yeah, that's about right. That sounds about right. I like that analogy.
Oh, we're gonna get along so good, man.
Welcome, Nolahn. Welcome, Nolahn.
Thank you.
So if there's no further ado, I think we should start with Nolahn's number 5.
Okay, and just for people who somehow clicked on the link and didn't realize what episode this is, we're going through our top 5 favorite films that begin with the letter I. Do I have that right? Because otherwise my list is shot to hell. All right.
Yes, that is correct. We are covering the letter I today. I'm sorry, I thought that was said already.
I don't think so, but I'm sure it's also the title of the podcast that people clicked on.
That is true.
Anyway.
That is true.
All right, so we're just diving in. My number
Number
five
five.
will certainly be farther up on a lot of other people's lists. I apologize for stealing the thunder. I'm going to go with Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. So here's a small confession from me, is I really like Quentin Tarantino's movies, but I rarely like them the first time I see them, with the notable exception being Pulp Fiction, which I promptly watched like 4 more times in the theaters over like a 2-week span.
Nice.
But a lot of his films, I need to like, I appreciate it and I'm glad I watched it and I enjoy it, but then I have to like go back to it again, and then after the second or third viewing, that's when I really start to like it. The problem is that sometimes there's a few movies, Hateful Eight, that I really just, I'm like, you know what? The once was enough. I'm fine.
Really?
Inglourious Bastards is one where the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, this was a excellently, artfully, executed film. Strange that the bastards seem to take a backseat in their own movie, but okay, I'm with it. But upon further view, like the more times I watch it, the more I love this film. There's so much that's awesome about it. That opening scene in the farmhouse is a masterclass. It's a masterclass in building tension, and it's a masterclass in character introduction. There's a reason why Christoph Waltz went from kind of European character actor to well-known, almost like borderline household name with a couple Oscars. Like, it's just amazing. So I'm gonna pause there because I imagine everyone else has something to say about this movie, but that's my number 5.
Okay. All right, I like it. I'll say this: it's not gonna show up on my list, but I'm sure it will show up on someone else's. So you're probably not wrong there.
Yeah.
Okay. Tom, what is your number 5?
Well, my number 5 is the best number 5 ever.
Okay.
All right.
And I did ask, Nolahn or someone, like, I want to pick Indiana Jones,
Okay.
but there's so many.
Well,
And,
it's your show, so this is why I didn't want to wait. Like, are you allowed to do a tie and lump them together? Is someone going to hold
Yeah,
your
you
feet
could
to the fire and
you could
and
definitely
make you
put
choose?
all 4 movies in the same one if you want to. That's perfectly fine.
See, I would argue you
I
can't
don't really
put
want
Raiders.
to, but
You can't put Raiders in there. That begins with an R.
That is true
a really good
because
one.
it was originally called Raiders, and then it's like later on they put Indiana Jones and then Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I'm gonna leave it
I
up
don't-
to
I don't
Zany.
acknowledge
Zany,
Yeah, that always
Zany,
bothered me.
what do you think, Zany? Which one is the best?
He must be away.
Well, he might
He
also
might be.
have it. I'm sure there's a good chance that everyone's got at least one of these on their list too. So
That is true.
go with your. Don't overthink this, man. Just pick the first one that comes to mind.
I really can't.
All right,
Okay.
we'll do them all.
Yeah.
Well, I have to think, like, it really put Harrison Ford on there, didn't it? Like, that Indiana Jones is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I mean, name some titles for me so I could get from the fans.
So you got Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's the first one that has Indiana Jones in the title.
Yeah.
And then you got Indiana
Okay.
Jones and the Last Crusade. And then you got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
And you got a pumping one next year.
I'm really feeling the first one.
The Temple of Doom?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We did it. We did it, everybody.
There we go.
We got through it.
No, wait a minute. Where is Zany? I can't. What is he?
I'm sorry. I apologize,
Oh,
everybody.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm back.
Which one did you like?
And by the way, welcome, Nolahn.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, at the risk of ruining surprises with my list, I couldn't decide either.
Okay. I can see
Yeah.
that. So Tom is going for Temple of Doom. It sounds like.
I guess I can.
Okay.
Solid pick. You got Dan Aykroyd showing up in the uncredited cameo. You've got
yeah.
people getting their hearts ripped out. And,
Yeah. The bug
And,
scene. You got the
yeah.
bugs.
Right.
Fatality. Oh, sorry.
That good. What?
I really do enjoy all of them. It's just, you know, I can't pick one, but if I had to, like the first, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Raiders. Oh man, classic.
I guess.
He's going for Temple of Doom.
I guess.
Okay. Good job, Tom. Good job.
Oh, you know. I was being easy. That's all.
Let's go to Pete. Pete, what's your number 5?
Well, if you like a good murder mystery horror type of story, I got one for you. Our good old actor John Cusack, who's been done tons and tons of movies, was in a really great movie in 2003 called Identity.
Nice.
And it's about this. They had like in the beginning this little court hearing stuff about this convicted killer and all this stuff, and they got to transport him to the different facility and all this other stuff. And as they're transporting him, 10 other strangers, like I mean, a total of 10 strangers, including him and the cop that's bringing him over there, they all get stuck because of a storm at this motel. And as they're stuck there, an ex-cop, which was John Cusack's character. Oh wait, let me say the great cast real quick too, because they got a really good cast in this movie. If you've never seen it, they got Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet, Alfred Molina. They got Clea Duvall, Rebecca De Mornay, Jake Busey. You got John C. McKinley in there, John Hawkes. A lot of great actors right there just themselves, you know. And every one of these people played perfect roles for their stuff. Like there's one that's a prostitute. Well, there's a couple that have a kid. There's an ex-star. There's a bunch of people in this thing. But I tell you now, if you love mysteries, this is like one of those. It has such really good, damn awesome twist ending. I don't want to give too much about it away, like, you know, because it's one of those movies that if you talk about one thing about it, you're going to want to talk about the rest, and you can keep going about it and keep going, and you know what I mean? And it's one of my favorite John Cusack movies besides 1408.
Yeah, this is a solid pick. I really like. This is a great movie. It was on my. After I came up with my 5, I had like my short list of honorable mentions, and this was definitely at the top of that list. So yeah, this movie is really cool.
Indeed, I 100% agree, and maybe will be talked about more later on.
Yeah. We don't.
Okay.
Know.
Okay, me. Hey, it's me. Hi, I'm Jason. My number 5. Back in 1967 or 68 or maybe 69, I don't remember the exact year, there was a movie that starred Raquel Welch and Donald Pleasance and a bunch of other people about a ship of doctors being injected into a body to fix a guy's like blood clot, and that was called Fantastic Voyage. My pick is the 1980s version of that called Inner Space.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
I love that movie.
Yes, I fucking love this movie.
It's sci-fi, right? Sci-fi,
comedy, sci-fi, yeah.
Comedy, yeah.
This stars Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid
and Martin Short and Meg Ryan. Yeah, Meg Ryan.
Yep.
And it's basically like a comedic version of Fantastic
It's
Voyage.
awesome, man.
Dennis Quaid is this guy who gets shrunk down into a ship for like medical scientific reasons, and he accidentally gets injected into Martin Short, who's a very neurotic guy,
hypochondriac.
And and he ends up getting chased around by the government because they need Dennis Quaid back, and hijinks ensue. And I remember discovering this when I was a kid on cable. And then later, I ended up watching Fantastic Voyage, and I was like, "Oh wow, Inner Space is like a comedic version of Fantastic Voyage. That's awesome." But yeah, it's a really funny movie. There's some kind of heartfelt moments because Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, in the movie they used to be together, and then they split up for whatever reason, and then they're trying to get back together. and yeah, and then just the whole comedy of Dennis Quaid being inside Martin Short's body is just nothing short of amazing. Ha, short. Ha.
Dude, he's liking
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
He's
There's
like,
nothing short of that.
yeah.
You see that, Nolahn? I didn't get to do puns on our show, so I get to do puns here.
Did we
That was
have
a great-
did we have a
great
no
thing,
pun
great
law? I'm trying to remember.
I think the
You
first
think I'm
day.
funny?
I think the
Could be.
first day you instituted a no pun rule, and I couldn't do puns. So now that I'm on my own, I can do puns as freely as I want.
You can pun it up. There we
Yes,
go.
indeed. So my number
If you
5.
want-
So my number 5 is Inner Space.
If you watch Rick and Morty, they did a really good sort of episode like that too, where they went inside somebody's body and they made like a whole amusement park inside the body.
Ah, yes, I'm familiar with that. They made a board game out of that.
Yeah.
So, Bill, if you're here, what's your number
Yes.
5?
Well, let me first say I've gotten in trouble over that before for
Going in
being all
someone's body.
up. I've gotten in trouble for being all up in that.
Well, I think we all have. I mean, don't ask her. Don't ask her. I think
I've
we
gotten
have.
in trouble for being all up inner space.
I haven't.
Yeah, okay. You had to top me, didn't you? All right.
You know
No,
what?
actually,
Inner
I need to
space.
check that out. That sounds like an awesome movie.
You've never seen Inner
You've never
Space?
seen
I haven't.
Shut up.
What?
Come on,
How
Tommy.
the fuck have I known you for so long and you've never seen Inner Space? What
It's
the
really a
fuck?
good movie. It really is.
Are you kidding me right now?
No, probably the closest thing I've seen would be the music video for Fantastic Voyage, which is a great
Oh.
film.
Jesus.
And I haven't seen that.
Oh
So
my god.
there you go.
I think it's a little bit different than the movie.
Yeah.
It's
No,
Julio.
Coming out of the trunk party.
Wow, I'm shook right now. I am literally shook. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. What's your number 5? What the hell? I gotta question
Okay.
everything.
You know, everyone be prepared because ever since I broke my Thai cherry, I just keep doing ties constantly.
Man, we really missed you, Bill. We missed you, man.
Yeah, babe.
Pop it.
So I have 3 big ties.
Oh.
First one, my number 5 is. Are you ready, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 5 is 3 movies,
Oh wow.
and since last time we established that it's okay that really they could not even be related and still be tied if you just can't decide
Yep.
in an emergency like this.
Mhm.
So my number 5 is It Could Happen to You with
Okay.
Nicolas Cage, In and Out with Kevin Kline and
Mhm.
Tom Selleck and Joan Cusack.
All right.
And the number 3 pick for my number 5 is Impractical Jokers the movie.
I'm happy you brought that up because I love that show.
That is
I
my
really
number
do.
5. Those 3.
Jason, do you love that show?
I do. I only seem to watch that show when I'm traveling, and it's like the
Larry!
only thing
Larry,
that's on the hotel cable for some reason.
mashed potatoes, potato.
I don't know why that show is the only thing that's on when I travel and I'm in hotel rooms. It's
I
like
love the mashed potato one.
it's like that
You know
show
what?
made a deal with hotels to only show that show in hotels.
You guys are gonna say that. What? When I say this, I ain't never watched it yet.
I haven't. I
Oh.
want to. I mean, eventually I will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I yeah, Nolahn doesn't really like pranks, so
Well, it's not that I don't like pranks. I just I don't know if I'm just showing my age or I've been shown an episode and I'm like, okay.
well, you just don't come across as like a guy who likes pranks, so I just figured it was just because of that.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, Bill,
Anyway,
what do you want to? Okay, well, so go ahead with your 3
Okay,
films.
Well, as I stated,
Well, I mean, you have to pick one, isn't it?
No,
oh,
no, he's good.
no.
I don't know. He said he could pick.
I don't know. I
Jam
don't
the
know.
three together. They're
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fine. So
I don't know.
and they're all comedies. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not as familiar
Man.
with the Nick Cage one. So okay.
Okay.
It's got a bit of a thematic tie. You just
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I don't know if I know the Nick Cage
I'm-
movie. In and Out, I know, and the Impractical Jokers movie is self-explanatory. But like what's the Nick Cage one about?
Okay, well, thanks for asking, by the way. Nick Cage, he's a police officer. If I believed it was in New York, I could be wrong. He just ate at a diner, and he can't leave a tip. He don't have the money for a tip, and he's a decent human being, so he feels bad about that, and doesn't want to not leave a tip. So what he does is he leaves her a lottery ticket, and tells her that he'll split half of the ticket with her if happens to be a winner. And yeah, the lottery ticket wins, so
Oh.
he gives her half of the big jackpot. And the kind of, I mean, that depends on your moral standpoint. But one thing I kind of forgot about, that reading back over it in the like the bio explanation of it, I had forgotten he was actually married. So it's kind of, but judging movie characters is kind of weird. So shouldn't be judging people anyway.
This is the one with Rosie Perez, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen this. This is good. This is a solid pick.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
It is.
Rosie Perez, man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm always wait. They know me already. That's what I was like, Rosie Perez. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute. Hey, Zany, like they win the lotto, right?
yeah. And
Okay.
love overcomes all and all that kind of stuff.
It is a good movie. It is.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. Did you want to talk about your other movies, or was it still self-explanatory?
That's a good question. Well, Practical Jokers is probably explanatory.
Self-explanatory?
Yeah,
Fair. That's fair.
because
Although, wait, can I ask a question? What the hell happens in that movie? Is it just like an episode just longer?
okay, I'm glad you said that, because I should have explained this. Yeah.
I mean, I just want to know. That's all. It's just like, very simply, like, is it literally just like an hour and a half of just them doing stupid stuff, or like what? Is it a documentary? Like, what's going on?
Well, I had to find that out for myself, because I've been wanting to see that forever. So I made a point to watch it for this episode because I love the show.
Okay.
I didn't want to not know whether I loved it or not. So the thing is, the plot is that they went in 1990. Hold on one second.
Okay, we're gonna pause here for a second.
All right.
As I don't know anything about this movie, but I do know what the show's about. So if it's like the Jackass movies, for example, where they just did like their thing, but like an hour and a half, but then because it's a movie, they were able to do like extreme things, like, hey, we're gonna shave one of their balls, and they got to walk around with the pubic hair on their face or something, like is it like to that extreme?
There's one that I love that's Johnny Knoxville's in, that's actually all pranks, but actually has a story though. That's a Bad Grandpa, if I'm correct, it's called.
Yes, I actually saw that in
Damn,
theaters.
that is hilarious. That is damn near hilarious, and it's a story, but it's all pranks. It's like it's all pranks all the way through, and it's just the funniest.
And that was the first movie to do that, because now there's like a whole bunch that are like that.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
You know what else kind of does that in a way?
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was before that one or not. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I feel like Borat kind of, because he was
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was actually the first to actually do that with the pranks and the movie All Tied. I think one of the first things. I mean, I'm not sure, but it's pretty much I think the first.
Yeah, because he went all full character of Borat.
True.
This is
All right.
Uzbekistan. Yeah, Uzbekistan.
So if you want to really go back, Andy Kaufman just did that in real life.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Him and what's his name from WWE? Jerry Lawler.
Yeah. And then half the time he would go around like in real life though, being that Tony Clifton,
Yeah.
like experimenting, pranking people in restaurants and everything.
Okay, well, we're gonna stop your number 5 there because we're at the 20-minute mark and we're only on number 5. So
Yeah.
let's go on to our number 4s. So Nolahn, what's your number 4?
For my number 4, I am this one I have to believe is also going to show up on actually a bunch of these might show up on lists. This one we're going all the way back to 2004 for the longtime gold standard of what a superhero movie should be, The Incredibles, which I would argue is
nice.
still one of Pixar's best movies, and even with Brad Bird's weird Ayn Rand fixation throughout the film, it's still a better version of the Fantastic Four than any of the 4 actual attempts to make a Fantastic Four movie.
And you get a really great Samuel L. Jackson role in there too.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one with
Correct, T. Nelson?
no, not Curtis Nelson.
Well, he is in the movie, but yes.
Oh, maybe I'm not. I'm thinking of the wrong movie, probably. I was thinking. Oh gosh.
It's the animated
Russell.
Pixar. They're superheroes, and like the mom is a Elastigirl, and she's all stretchy, and the little
picture it,
boy
but I
is
was-
super fast, and the girl can turn invisible, and the dad is super strong, and they.
The villain looks like Jack Black.
Okay, I got 2 movies like all amalgamated into one thing here. I'm thinking of what is it? Something High or something like that.
Are you talking about Sky High?
Sky High? Yeah. I'm thinking of Kurt Russell, but that was a live action movie. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so, yes.
Some reason I combine them in my mind.
Okay. Fair enough.
But now that I need to rewatch The Incredibles.
I'm going to be honest, I've not actually seen it.
Oh.
I just
For a
know
Disney movie, it's
I just
awesome.
know bits and pieces of it, and I know like there's a meme attached to it, and but like the whole no capes thing, I know about that. But yeah, I've not actually seen it.
You would enjoy it, even if
Oh, I'm
you
sure.
knew everything about it. It's a delight. And
Yeah, I just never really got around to it, and Toy Story was always my jam. So
Yeah.
but okay, that was Nolahn's number 4. Tom,
Yeah, I am around, guys.
how can we help you with your number 4?
My number 4 is going to be Independence Day,
Okay.
nice.
and it's a 1996. Everyone's seen it, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah, I saw that in theaters too.
Oh, that movie is badass.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I remember
will
that
love my
was
co-host. Yeah,
that movie
go
was
ahead.
huge when that was out. Like
Oh yeah.
everybody was like gung ho for that movie when that came out.
Should we do the deep dive into Independence Day, and then when it comes up in everyone else's list, we could just be like, oh yeah, that's Independence Day. Let's move on.
Nolahn.
Yeah, we could
do
do
it,
that.
baby.
Well, I
Sure.
mean, you brought it up, so I want you to get your shots in on it, and
Oh,
you know.
Yeah. So Tom, what about Independence Day? Do you like?
You know what I love? I don't like it. You know what I love?
Oh, what do you love about it?
Independence Day.
Okay. I
know.
couldn't have put it better myself. You could have paid
I
me
know.
$1,000 and I would not have put it better myself.
Oh wait. There's more.
Oh,
There is
okay.
more.
Oh, okay.
That movie.
Mm-hmm.
Changed it all for you.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
What was the guy's name? That really is it Pullman? I forget his
Bill
name.
Pullman, yes.
Yeah.
Not Bill Paxton.
He was a great president. He was a great president. He was. I
He
think.
was one of the better movie presidents. I will agree to that. Yes.
I would
He did
argue,
great,
I
man.
would take it a step further. I would say he gives arguably the best speech ever given by a U.S. president, real or fictional.
Okay. Yes.
Do you
Absolutely.
remember
Take-
it, Nolahn?
Take
Yes.
his
Do you remember
Independence
it?
Day speech versus like the Gettysburg Address.
Yes.
Stop.
We
Yes.
will not go silent into that good night.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I do agree with that statement.
We will follow Thomas Whiteside. Wait, somebody
Wow.
said.
Bold statement, but I think I concur also.
Independence Day is not on my list. So.
Oh,
It really is. It really
I'm
is.
not-
He's
it's
lying,
great.
people. It is.
But all right. Anyone
The,
else got anything deep dive to say about Independence Day before we move on?
One of my favorites was Will
Anybody.
Smith,
Anyway.
and
Go ahead.
you have
Go ahead.
Goldblum in there too. Jeff
We're
Goldblum.
listening.
Oh yeah. Jeff
Wait.
Goldblum. Yeah.
I mean, Pete. What'd you say, Pete?
So one of my favorites with Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum's in there too.
yeah.
Well,
And this
yeah.
is to write on that. I mean, yeah, you got
Jason's
Jeff
favorite
Goldblum,
actor, dude.
Jeff Goldblum coming off Jurassic Park.
Mhm.
You've got arguably peak Will Smith. I mean, Will Smith
Right,
during this
right.
run of he did in order. He did
Preach.
6 Degrees of Separation, Bad Boys, Independence Day, Men in Black. Just
He did great. Yeah.
All back to back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I kind of when I think of summer blockbusters, like this is
Mm-hmm.
textbook. This is on the Mount Rushmore of
I like
summer
it, yeah.
blockbusters because it's
Yeah.
just it's big
I
and
do
it's
like it, yeah.
fun and it's you sit there and you munch your popcorn and it's a blast. Yeah.
Along of what you're saying, Nolan, I gotta say that Will Smith is probably one of the most surprising actors ever because, like, I don't think anyone expected him to go from being a rap star to being, having the Fresh Prince show and being so successful.
Yeah.
Then he reinvents himself again with all them blockbusters after the show. Like, I don't think anyone saw that coming.
And even right now, Zany, what he's doing, like, I'm in the best shape of worst shape of my life. I'm actually going to work out too. I'm going to follow him and I got to get in shape a little
I
bit.
mean, we would have all known if he was lying because we've seen like his whole life before us in pictures and videos. But it's good that he's down to earth and modest.
Yeah.
he's great.
Exactly. Indeed.
Pretty good. All right, that's
All
my
right.
number 4. Go on, people. Go on, baby.
Good job, Tom.
Thanks. Thank
Great choice, Tom, too, by the way. Like I said, man, that was a great movie.
What you got, Pete?
My number 4 is inspired by H.G. Wells' classic, and it's been done many times, but not like this one. And last year, we got one of the better adaptations of The Invisible Man. I actually love this one because it was your way different story version of it because it was psychological, this one, compared to the other ones. This one here, you had Elizabeth Moss playing a woman who was pretty much abused by her ex and stuff and all that, and she thought her ex was like torturing her and stalking her, and he was thought to be dead, and during this whole time, because there was supposedly an accident with him where he supposedly died and all this other stuff. So she was wondering, how the hell is he doing all this? He might have just, faked it, whatever like that. And that's, the whole premise of it is thinking of that. But it has such a great story, such a twist to it. Like I said, I'm not saying much else because I'm going to give it away if I do. But it is an Invisible Man story. But still, you're like, oh God, man. When you watch this movie, you're like, you're just like, damn. she went through a whole lot of shit. You know, and but yeah, that's my number 4.
Can I say something controversial?
All right.
I was not a fan of this movie.
No.
I thought it was a little too long, and I think they could have cut a little bit things out.
Yeah.
And all right, I'm gonna go slight spoilers. This might be a full spoiler. This is a slight spoiler, so anyone who hasn't seen it, spoiler. But I don't think this is a big.
I haven't seen it, so I'm just.
It's
gonna
not
put my
a.
finger
It's
in my
not a.
ears for the
It's not a
duration.
huge spoiler. It's just.
Dude.
It's just a thing that happens in a movie that bugs me. So I wouldn't call it a huge spoiler, but the fact that when the Invisible Man is doing his thing and messing with her life, everybody like immediately like does blame her. Like, for example, when the sister got that nasty email and Elizabeth Moss was like, I didn't send that email, but the sister like didn't want to believe her.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, okay, because you know computer hacking is a thing in the world, and so I would have just been like, okay, she didn't send that email. And then the thing when the dad thought that she smacked the little girl, that bothered me, because why are you just gonna immediately like think, oh, now she's a bitch and she's just gonna smack the little girl for no reason, so now we're just gonna shun you from our life. And I was like, that they like turned on her too quickly. And
Yeah.
so those
that
things
was
bothered
yeah.
me. But I did like, and this, okay, I'll stop with the spoilers. I'll just say I like the restaurant scene. I'm just gonna stop there.
Mhm.
And I do feel like they could have cut a little bit out a little bit after that scene. Like there's some stuff they easily could have trimmed out. But yeah, I was just not a fan of the movie, so I don't know. It was all right. It was done good, at least. It looked good, and I did like Elizabeth Moss's acting in the movie. But it could have been trimmed. Like for some reason, movies now have to be like 2.5 hours long. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. There's some that have to be cut short. I do agree with that.
And this one could have been one of them. So
Yeah,
I just want to get that out there.
I do agree with that. That was long.
And now that you've spoiled the movie for me, now that I know that there's a scene in a restaurant, ruined it.
Yep. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, I had to do that.
They were eating shrimp with marmalade and. Oh,
God damn it, Pete! Why'd you do that?
No. That's not.
Okay, my number 4. We're not gonna take too long on it because it's Identity.
Nice.
And it's I really do enjoy this movie. It was really good, and it's one of the many movies John Cusack gets rained on. So there's like a whole cinematic universe where John Cusack just gets rained on, and this is one of them. And I won't spoil it, but there's a really interesting twist at the end of this that I kind of liked, and I did not see that coming. I'll just say that. But yeah, I quite enjoy it, and basically for same reasons Pete said. So yeah, my number 4 is Identity.
Nice.
Very nice psychological thriller, as I call. Really good.
Indeed. And kind of a good horror movie too, actually.
Yeah.
That is a great movie, guys. Good pick for both of you there.
Thank you.
What about you, Bill? What's your number 4?
Before I do that, can I just comment on the raining on John Cusack?
Yes, by all means, yes.
I immediately, when you said that, I think that you're correct, because first thing that came to mind was High Fidelity.
Yep.
He's getting soaking wet after leaving her father's funeral, I think it was.
Like a bunch in that movie, actually. He gets rained on a lot in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, say anything, he gets rained on. I mean, everyone gets rained on almost nonstop in Identity, but yeah.
Well, on to my number 4,
Mm-hmm.
and this is gonna be, we won't go over this too much. The first of my 3 picks for number 4.
Oh my God.
We won't go over the first one too much because it's Independence Day.
All right.
Now, The one thing I think I did want to mention that we didn't mention, and I think you'll appreciate this, Jason.
Okay.
I remember when it was in the show, the when they played the REM.
Oh yeah.
When that scene came up, it just was so fitting. I was so glad they put that.
Yep.
And the other two, these are actually kind of in a weird way related, and it'll make sense in a minute. I, Robot and I Am Legend.
So you went for a Will Smith trifecta, basically.
A triple play of Big Willie.
Big Willie. Big Willie style, yeah. And in a way they all have a similar theme too, because I mean, it's Independence Day, the end of the world might be near with the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the world might be near with iRobot, with the robots taking over. And I Am Legend, the world basically is already all gone.
Dude. Hey, your logic is undeniable.
Well, thank you, sir. So yeah, that's my number 4s.
So you can call him Apocalyptic Willie.
Apocalyptic Willie. I love it.
There you go. I like it. Okay.
Pretty good.
We're on our number 3s already, you guys. Man, this is going smoothly. Nolahn, what's your number 3?
It's about to go a lot more smoothly because my number 3 is Independence Day.
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome.
Anything you want to add?
I said my piece when it first came up, so we can move right along.
All righty, Tom. What's your number 3?
I didn't hear Nolahn's number. Was it
was
Nolahn?
Independent. It was Independence Day.
It's Independence Day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine was like Jason. It's Inner Space, or I really like that movie.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
I like it.
I mean, short and sweet for you.
Oh, wow.
Wow, we're gonna breeze through our number 3s here. Okay.
Like we're all like pretty similar.
About time.
All right. Now I'm curious, Pete. What's your number 3?
All right. In my tradition of comic book movies, I didn't do one in the last few because I didn't have one. I had one for this one, of course. It is the beginning of the Marvel Universe as we know it. Well, actually, they have plenty before this, but this was the big start of the whole chain of Marvel movies. Iron Man. Back in 2008, it started the whole big Marvel franchise as we know it. Avengers, Hulk, Captain America. You got your there's keep going down the line. Guardians of the Galaxy. If it wasn't for this movie, that would never happen. And it's about your Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark, who is stuck in Afghanistan. If I'm correct, he was took by people in Afghanistan. He was trapped, and they were trying to figure out a way. And him and this guy made this big old Iron Man suit, like big silverish looking Iron Man suit, like the first one, of course. And he escapes, and he comes back to America, of course, and his company, Stark Industries. And he finds out that I'm trying not to give away too much, that he's getting sabotaged because while he was in Afghanistan, he noticed that some of the weapons there was weapons that his company made, but he didn't recall making. So in the comic book fashion, he tries to figure out who is behind all this stuff, and he creates another Iron Man suit because when he was in Afghanistan, which I forgot about too, he got so injured he needed something for his heart, so he made a little compactor for his heart. He made a badass suit, which you already know, and Obadiah Stone is the villain, pretty much. And that's all I'm gonna say. And he's played by a really, really great actor, Jeff Bridges.
Oh yeah.
And you get your introduction to Pepper Potts, played by the beautiful Gwyneth Paltrow. You get your Jarvis in there, which becomes later on your Vision and stuff, which is your Paul Bettany. You got Coulson, Phil Coulson, Mr. Agents of Steel himself, and their Clark Gregg. You get your first glimpse of Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson, and you get your only appearance of Terrence Howard as James Rhodes, who's later, I can't think of his name right now.
Well, the original was Terrence. Well, the original was Terrence Howard.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. That's why. The original was Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
And he was replaced later on by Don Cheadle.
Yep.
So, but yeah, this is a great start to the franchise, and I love this movie. It was, and if you ever want somebody to play Tony Stark, you got to get Robert Downey Jr. because he played the character great. I read the books, so there's no replacing.
Indeed, I can't imagine anyone else playing Tony Stark now.
Yeah. And that's my number 3.
Okay.
That's a great pick. I came
a solid
very
pick,
close
yeah.
to using that.
Indeed. I 100% agree. Okay, my number 3. It feels like every episode I have to bring up at least one movie that not a lot of people have heard of, or possibly have seen. I'm wondering if Pete might have seen this, and I don't know if Nolahn might have seen this. But this is it's a French movie. But the English title is called Inside. And it's about a pregnant woman on Christmas Eve. About a couple of weeks prior to that, she lost her husband in a really terrible, brutal car accident. And so she's alone on Christmas Eve, and then a strange woman comes knocking on the door. And at first it seems harmless, but then the lady starts attacking her, and it seems like she wants to take her baby out from her.
Wow.
And it's a very brutal, pretty gory film, but it is really like tense, and it's a really good thriller, and it's kind of a mystery because you don't know why this lady is doing what she's doing. And there's a couple of what's the word I'm looking for? Comic relief characters that ease attention a little bit, and then it goes back to the house, and then it's done kind of in real time. I think it's done outside of the flashbacks, obviously, because she flashbacks to the accident a couple of times. But it's kind of done in real time where she's just at home alone, and then the lady shows up, and then she gets terrorized. And it's a very brutal movie, very gory. If you can't handle blood or I'll say guts, that's not a spoiler, I'm just saying guts. And yeah, crazy shit like that, I would, you probably couldn't handle this. But yeah, it's a really good movie, and yeah, it's called Inside, and there's a French word for it. I can't think what it is right now. It's like our interior or something like that. But here in America, it's called Inside. So
sounds great. That's something I probably want to check out if it's on Netflix or Hulu or something. Because
I don't know actually. I remember. It's an older movie, and I remember just seeing it on Netflix, my Netflix queue one day, and I was like, oh yeah, let me get this. What the hell? And I ended up really enjoying it, and I ended up buying it, and yeah.
Was it like a 90s movie?
No, it's like I could look that up. I think it's like 2010 or something.
Okay, then it's not. I saw something very, very similar to that back years ago.
Oh, okay, it's 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, it's oh, and it's subtitled too, because it's from France, obviously. But subtitles don't bother me. For some reason, it bothers other people. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've never gotten that, but
yeah, yeah, no, subtitles don't bother me. So
yeah,
it doesn't bother me.
Either it does or it doesn't. Like I don't have a problem with it either.
Like Train to Busan. There's one of those movies you got to read and read and read and read.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but that's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. My number 3 is Inside.
Very cool. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, I don't know. You might. I would recommend just watching on your own, Nolan. I wouldn't have the kids around for that one.
Hey, what's going on there? Well, that's his liver, son. That's his liver.
Well, Nolan's telling me one of his kids is getting into
liver.
horror movies, but this might be a little too much. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, and I try to offend her. She's 15 now, and I try to like I don't know about this, and then she'll go and she'll watch like the one that was the shocker to me was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And
No.
she was like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like,
Okay,
really?
I mean,
It didn't get under your skin at all? It didn't, because that
Oh.
one freaks me out a little, you know.
Yeah.
And
The one
she's
that
like,
freaks
yeah,
me-
whatever. I'm like, all right.
The
So
one that freaks me out a little bit for guts and stuff and everything, and I don't get freaked out easy, is the Green Inferno, the recent one that Rock did.
I've not seen that.
That all cannibals and stuff and all that. Oh God.
Oh
You
wow.
watch that. It's good. It's really good. But the first time I watched it, I had to stop it for a little bit because
Oh,
I
wow.
don't get freaked out. I just stopped it. I go, oh crap.
All right.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's good. It's really good.
Bill, what's your number 3? Or how many movies on your number 3?
Believe it or not, we finally arrived where at a pick that's just one movie.
Oh, okay, awesome.
I could be wrong, but no, I better not ruin it. I feel like it might be on someone else's list, but I don't want to. I shouldn't say that because I don't know. But this is a classic. It's basically, well, the critics didn't think it was they didn't like it when it came out, but it's considered a classic by just about everyone nowadays, and it's played quite often every holiday, and that's It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
That's a great classic, man.
It is not on my list, but it was on my short list. Yes.
Yeah, it's I mean, the message alone, and then you got Jimmy Stewart and
Hey, everybody. I'm sorry, I just tried to do his voice. Do his voice.
where's those pedals?
It's Christmas, everybody. It's Christmas.
you know I'm gonna spare everyone right now, but if you want to hear my Jimmy Stewart, you can go back to my early seasons of Zany on the Air, and I quote unquote interviewed Jimmy Stewart on there.
God, that was a long ass time ago. I will say for the movie that this is probably the most parodied movie like ever. Like it gets used in like almost everything from movies to TV shows, and it's like the number one like trope
Yeah,
that shows up.
I'd say that one and Scrooge or Christmas Carol.
Yeah, easily, yes, absolutely.
Which is basically this very similar type of situation.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
that was a good number 3. Good number 3s, everybody. We got through it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Nolahn, what's your number 2, my man?
I think our getting through things quickly is about to end for my number 2 here.
Oh, okay.
As I get older and I definitely settle into dad mode more, I've noticed that I really, really, really enjoy heist movies.
Oh.
And so my number 2 pick is a criminally underrated movie by the very underrated Spike Lee. It's 2006's Inside Man.
Oh.
Which I don't know if you guys have seen that or not. It is it's a heist movie, largely inspired by kind of in the same vein as Dog Day Afternoon, but I think this tops it with ease.
Oh, wow.
You've got Clive Owen as leading a team of bank robbers robbing a very long standing and bank in on Wall Street, and then Denzel Washington and Chiwetel Ejiofor. I think I pronounced that right. Maybe.
Hey, that was pretty good. Better than I could have done.
are the detectives that are brought in, and it's like a battle of wits between them. It is just, you got Christopher Plummer calling in Jodie Foster off the bench to like go do like damage control and spin and stuff. William Dafoe shows up like, hey, I'm William Dafoe, you know. It is a great heist movie, and it's, even though Spike Lee didn't write it, it's still a very, very New York movie. There's one scene where, kind of out of the standard, like, they've got, the bank robbers got hostages in the bank kind of playbook, they send in a bunch of pizzas and they put bugs in the little pizza tent so they can eavesdrop on them. And they just hear this language. They're all sitting in the trailer like, what language is this? And they're like, what? We're in New York City. Just pull people out of the crowd to see. So like, they just start playing it on the loudspeaker like, who knows what this is? And this construction worker guy's like, oh yeah, that's Albanian. They're like, okay, get this guy in here. And they're like, so you speak Albanian? He's like, nah, I don't speak Albanian. I just said it's Albanian.
I remember that.
So it is it's a great, if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. I think it's currently on streaming on Peacock and probably on something else right now, as of May 2021. It's a blast. So
yeah,
Yes.
I agree. Denzel's my favorite actors, and that was wonderfully done. Jodie Foster's great in there too. So
sadly, this is one of those situations where I own the DVD, but I have not watched it.
I got plenty like that, Bill.
it's worth. I'm glad you got it. It's worth throwing on. Like
Yeah,
a nice-
definitely.
Now I know to
Definitely.
throw it on.
I actually saw this in theaters.
Nice.
Cool.
I think I
Okay.
did too, Kirk.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
sure.
Okay. All right, here we go. Tom, what's your number 2?
Well, hey, look, my number 2 isn't going to be weird. Okay.
Okay.
But it is the
Is
most
there, is it?
amazing movie in the world. I mean, can you guys guess what it is?
I
That's why
Frankenstein.
we're doing list.
Oh, look, I
thing.
was going to wait for number 1, but I'm going to do it for number 2 for you guys, okay?
My guess is I Frankenstein.
It is going to be
That's a good
Idiocracy.
movie.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
I freaking love it. I love that movie.
Okay.
Now listen. Is it like a sci-fi, action, adventure, comedy, or documentary? What is it?
Right now, it's a documentary for
Yeah.
sure.
I don't know, man. I mean, the guy, he goes to sleep for 1,000 years, wakes up. He's the smartest guy in the world. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
pretty
Mhm.
much.
I
The-
quote this movie a lot. I
Wow.
always say electrolytes. I says everything has electrolytes
Dude,
in it.
Dude, that movie is amazing. Anyone who's out there, that is the movie for I to watch.
Okay.
Idiocracy.
Awesome.
Oh,
That was
God,
on my
yeah.
short list. I did not put that on my list either.
I somehow forgot. I didn't forget about it, but when I was going through titles, that just got by me,
Dude.
and that is a great pick. So.
Yeah, indeed.
That was a really good one too. And isn't that by Michael Moore?
Mike Judge.
There you go.
Mike Judge, yeah. Okay, I got the names wrong. I'm sorry.
That's all
Mr.
good.
Beavis and Butthead. Mr. Beavis
What's his
and
name,
Butthead.
Jason? Is like
Yeah.
President Camacho?
Yeah.
Yep, President Mountain Dew Camacho.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that movie's
Indeed.
amazing.
Yes.
That's awesome.
All right. Good job, Tom.
Yeah, it's my number 2.
Pete, what you got for number 2?
All right, in the tradition of everybody, not everybody, but Bill, mine's actually a tie, but yet not really a tie, because besides being a big comic book buff, which Nolahn doesn't know about, I'm a big comic book guy. That's why they call me comic book guy on here. My real nickname is Penguin Pete, though, and or Rock Orion, but that's a different story. But anyways, my big thing I love is Stephen King stuff, and ever since I was a little kid, when I first read this book, I love the book. I love the original TV miniseries, which is part of this tie, and I've loved the 2 chapters, which is actually one whole movie, and that movie is It.
All right. Yes.
Pennywise, the clown, is probably one of Stephen King's best. I mean, one of his best, not the best. There's other really great, but in the top 5 best characters from Stephen King, Pennywise is there. Do you know what I mean? He's just like right there. You know, he is this creepy little subtle being that these kids in Maine. Well, it's somebody that terrorizes these kids that call the Losers Club. And sadly for Georgie is no more, if you know what I'm saying. He wanted to float his boat, and then anyways. But after that, these kids are terrorized, of course, haunted by Pennywise the Clown. And there's 2 great versions of Pennywise, the TV one, which is Tim Curry, and the new actor is great, really great too. Just as good as Tim Curry, which is Bill Skarsgård. And from that first half of the story, you go to the second half, where after surviving as kids, this menace, this ghoul of a character, you know what I'm saying, like that they had to fight off back then. They're still fighting demons of it as adults. They decided to come back to Maine after living their own lives in separate cities, states, whatever, doing their own thing. And when they come back to Maine, Pennywise decides to terrorize them again. And their past this time also terrorizes them again. And from there, it's just them again fighting Pennywise. But what makes this whole movie great is more the book, of course. The book is excellent. There's one scene that's not even shown in the movie, which is very controversial with the boys and the girl in the movie. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Big old orgy. But it's very dark, very psychological. If you notice, my theme with some movies I like is I love psychological horror, you know. But it's the novel tops everything. But it's pretty much damn close to the book, and that is my number 2, Stephen King's It.
Awesome. I have questions for you.
All right.
So the version that just came out recently with chapter 1 and chapter 2 deviate from the novel and the TV movie, because in the novel and the TV movie, the storylines between them as kids and them as adults are intertwined, and in the most recent versions they split them apart. Did you like that, or
I liked it a little bit. I mean, it did like deteriorate from the book a little bit, but the thing is, I still like the fact that it's stuck to most of the material from the book and the movies. Because if you read the book, you know the movie, the theater version stuck more material. I can't speak right now, sorry. But so yeah, they were actually going to have that scene in there too, and they cut it. They didn't do it.
Jesus.
So, and I was like, oh boy, like, you know, I read about that, like they were thinking about putting that scene in there because it was a theatrical version and stuff.
That was a good idea. They didn't do that because
Yeah,
that would have been awkward as all hell.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like all the boys, if you've read the book, all the boys.
Oh yeah.
No,
yes.
we
get
know.
it. We know.
We got it. So did you like chapter 2? Because I loved chapter 1. I thought was amazing, and chapter 2 I thought was.
It was dark. It was very dark.
The rest of the film, I don't know.
It did drag the second half. It dragged, but it was. See, there's a lot of stuff in the book they did not show, of course.
Well, yeah.
Half, because it was really dark. But to me, the second half of the theatrical version was more darker than the second half of the miniseries. If you get what I'm saying, if you remember the 1990 one with
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Like-
did get dark in that one too, like John Ritter with the suicide stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I saw part 1 of the new one in theater, and I didn't get to part 2 in theater, so I ended up, just buying it because I was like, oh my god, the first one was just so amazing. And I'm with Nolahn. I was a little lackluster on the second one, and then there's this scene that I cannot get over that shows up in the second movie, and I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. It's where the I think they're like in a basement of like a
Yep,
shop.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And Pennywise shows up and he like vomits all over one of the kids, and then they start playing Juice Newton's Angel of the Night. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Like, why did that happen? And I thought it was like I thought like something was wrong with my DVD. I thought like somebody dubbed it wrong or just something happened. I had to ask the internet. I was like, is there supposed to be a part where Juice Newton is supposed to play like in the middle of this horrifying scene? And everyone's like, no, that's in there. We don't know why it's in there. It's a thing.
There is one part.
Okay.
There is one part I didn't like. There was a CGI scene in there that was listed to CGI. I try to remember which one it was. One of the creature things.
Well, see,
that
I don't get super bothered by CGI. I'm
Yeah.
for practical effects, but I'm not super bothered by CGI either. And I will give it up to them. I do know that they try to use practical as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because like the scene where Jessica Chastain was in the toilet stall, and that was like blood, like she was just swimming in blood.
Yeah.
Like they put her in this tank with like fake blood in it, and it's like the fake blood, like CGI blood, is like the worst thing I've ever seen in movies. So the fact that they were able to do like now, I keep wanting to say real blood, but it's not real blood. It's it's real fake blood, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Or whatever you want to call it.
And so some of the effects are good, but yeah, some of the CGI can be a little crappy. So
But yeah, that was my number one.
those are number two.
I mean, number two. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm losing it today, guys. Sorry.
It's okay. It's been a day.
Yeah.
Okay, number two. I don't know, if I need to talk much about this or not, because this may show up on someone else's list. I went with an Indiana Jones movie. Now, this is probably one of my favorites, and I obviously couldn't do Raiders of the Lost Ark. We discussed that earlier. So my next favorite is going to be Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This is probably the one I've probably seen the most, actually, because this came out in theaters when I was old enough to see an Indiana Jones movie in theaters. Because Temple of Doom was like really early 80s, right?
Yeah.
Like that was like 83 or 82.
Or 84, I think.
So I was like 4 when that happened, and then Raiders was like 79, right? So
They're all great. They are.
and I wasn't even alive in 1979.
Mhm.
So when Last Crusade came out, my dad like
I
took
don't
me
know.
to see this.
Maybe you were.
I was living my previous life, so but my dad took me to see Last Crusade in the theaters because he said, oh man, these are great movies, and they're kid friendly. I was like 8 or 9 when this came out, and so I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And yeah, I fucking love this movie. It's amazing. And you got the whole Sean Connery as Indiana's dad, and they're bickering back and forth through the entire movie, and the adventure was just wonderful. I this just following them all the way through, and there's not like one dull moment in this movie. Like it's just something interesting is happening from the beginning to the end.
Not a single one.
Yeah, exactly. It's just pure like spectacle all the way through, and this is easily one of my favorite Indiana Jones movies. And
Okay.
and yeah, I got nothing else to say really. So my number 2 is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
No, hey, Jason, which one was the one where like the guy like they do the little like thump 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 thump, and they might rip the heart out?
That was your number 5. That was Temple of Doom.
Oh, that was 84.
I think so. It was
That
so,
sounds-
I don't
sounds
think
right to me,
so.
yeah.
Was
yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was around there. Yeah.
Was that with like the Goonies kid? Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
traps?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure.
All right, that was my number 2, Bill.
Good number 2, Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
really
welcome.
good.
Very good. All right. My number 2 is bum bum bum. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
All right.
So you're including Crystal Skull in there, yeah? That's good with you?
Yes, because they're okay.
No. I'm with Bill. I don't know why everyone hates Crystal Skull so much.
I don't hate it. I don't
Not
hate
only that, I mean, I enjoyed it thoroughly, but there's another reason. A friend of mine, well, I guess it's a former friend, that's someone I used to hang out with. I haven't spoken to in a long time. They had loaned me a book, and the book was about Crystal Skull, and this was before Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull came out. And I actually ended up kind of keeping the book. Not intentionally.
Well, I mean, hell, you never seen the guy, so what the hell? You might as well.
Oh, I'm sure I've seen him plenty of times after I kept the book, but not in like the last probably 5 or 6 years.
Bill became Debo. It's my book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mistakenly ended up keeping it and not giving it back. But it was such an interesting read, and it's like, so when that movie came out, I was like, wait a minute, because that's supposed to be a real thing, and I had read about it, and I enjoyed that book so much, and I'm like, oh, that is awesome that that's what this movie's going to be about.
Right.
So I was like extra excited when that came out. Yeah, well, especially because I would have been anyway, because it's another Indiana Jones, but
Right. Yeah, me and you, Bill, we saw this in the at the theater. We went to go see this together.
Oh, that's right.
Like I don't know if it was exactly opening weekend, but it was pretty close because it was a packed theater.
You gave your thing? Huh?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure Nolahn's gonna say something, but I don't know why this gets so much hate. I mean, it was exactly what it was supposed to be. It was an Indiana Jones movie with a goofy adventure, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not
Had a little
sure why.
sci-fi-ish to it, to me too, like a little sci-fi nudge.
I'm thinking that might have been why people were bothered by it, but it was like, but the last movie was about like fucking Jesus's cup, so come on, like come on, like
The Holy Grail.
Oh, the next one's gonna be about the golden wheelchair. But
Yeah. Well, and I think that's so. As someone, look, you guys enjoyed the movie. I'm not gonna knock you for enjoying the movie. And I did watch it a second time, and on the second time I'm like, okay, it's not terrible. It's just a big step down. Shia LaBeouf's character was unwatchable for me. Well, that was a big part of why I like everything about the character. And I don't want to put it all on him as an actor. The concept of the character, like every time he was on screen, like I don't care about this character. I don't get like mutt. Get the hell out of here with this crap. Like, and then when he's like swinging from vine to vine with the monkeys and the whole like so that, and the fact that like, I love Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones is is an absolute cultural icon of a character, but like it gets to a point where like I'm not buying this. You're running around. You're like, I'm just worried you're gonna break a hip.
Do you know why it's called Indiana?
Is after the dog.
Indiana, no dogs, bro.
Yeah. But okay, I didn't really mind Shia LaBeouf though. Like, he was there. Like, I guess you're right. They could have cut his character out, and it probably still would have been the same movie, and it would have been okay. But I wasn't bothered by him.
I think that's why Harrison Ford wanted to do another one though too, because he felt like it wasn't finished.
Yeah. I mean, and I think he's not turning down paychecks right now. So
Yeah, I think that's probably a bigger reason. Is
so,
But he was very adamant about not ever doing another Star Wars or Indiana Jones, and then he changed his mind.
well, like I said, he needed a paycheck.
And I'm
He's
glad
like,
he
wait.
changed his mind because the contract he did is giving us sequels.
Well, now he's like, wait, Disney owns Star Wars and they pay their people really. Okay, yep, I'm in. Let's do this. I don't know who.
Oh, you're gonna kill me off? What? No,
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry. I'm not gonna say for what, but you
All
know.
right, this was us defending Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, everybody. Were you done, Bill? I didn't mean to interrupt there.
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, so now it is time for our number ones. Let's do this. Nolahn, what you got, my man?
so. Before I go into my number ones, do we kind of call out honorable mentions? Do we do that now? Do it after the fact?
We have not in the past.
Oh, I have.
But you are free to do as you wish because you are our guest. So if you want
All
to
right.
do some honorable
Speed
mentions.
round of before I announce my number one. Speed round of honorable mentions in no particular order. The 1978 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
is awesome. That final shot is all I'll
Mhm.
say. Just still
Mhm.
freaks me out. Inception.
Mm.
You know, watch it a bunch. The Iron Giant and In the Mood for Love are excellent films. They're my favorites. No, but I'll give them a shout out. Honorable mention. Infernal Affairs. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
No.
No.
It is the Korean film that they based The Departed on.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
And it is every bit as good, maybe even, don't tell anyone, maybe even a little better. Because it's like, an hour shorter and it's got less Jack Nicholson just vamping, it's very, very good. And probably the only reason I didn't include it in my top 5 proper is that I've only seen it the once. So, and then I Was a Teenage Werewolf is a film I've never seen. Stars a very young Michael Landon from Little House on the Prairie. I can't find it anywhere, and I really want to see that movie. And
it was on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I Was a Teenage Werewolf?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. All right, I got to hunt that down.
It's
okay.
The 8th season. I want to say it's like episode 5.
Because I haven't been able to get that streaming anywhere. You can't, So
you know what, Nolahn? I will send you my copy of that episode.
Sweet.
So you can check it out.
Awesome. Oh, best day ever. All right. Anyway, so those are I want to give shout outs to those honorable mentions. My number one pick is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade for all of the reasons that Jason said.
Nice.
It is, I would say that Raiders is the best film, but Crusade is the most fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, and I know a few people kind of sneer at it a bit because it's probably more cartoonish than the others, but it's just a delight. You got River Phoenix doing Harrison Ford impersonations. You got Sean Connery just owning being the kind of the Duffy professor dad.
I love the fact that they had the fatherly arguments.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was fantastic. Venice is fantastic. There's just so much that it is easily the most they're all rewatchable movies, but that one is that's the one that I absolutely go to if I'm I want to throw on Indiana Jones, but that's the one that I'm going to go to every time. So yeah, that's my top pick, and it wasn't even close. So
nice. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I mean, did I lead out with number 5 like that with Indiana?
Yes.
Yep.
I know. That's what I do. You know what I mean?
Well, Tom, good news. It's time for your number one.
I'm doing it for you, Jay, and well, not for you, but for all the fans and everyone. I could say a lot of things, but tonight's been a quick show, and I'm happy they all joined us. But It's a Wonderful Life is my number one.
All right.
Oh,
Nice.
Frank
Okay.
Capra, you know why, Jay. But you know what? You know what I'm thinking? It's like Identity Thief. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I really like that movie with like Melissa McCarthy and Bateman.
Yeah.
I
That's
really
the
liked it.
thing.
It was a good one. That's like
I take it back, Nolahn. Tom does do his honorable mentions mixed in with his number one.
I'm just saying. Like, that
So your number one is It's a Wonderful Life, but you giving a shout out to Identity Thief. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. That all?
Awesome.
I guess that's all.
Nice.
oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Pete, it's your turn, baby.
All righty. My number one has a very young, hot Jessica Alba in her underwear.
Yes.
I had to go there.
Yes.
Sorry. And if you know what movie I'm talking about 1999's Idle Hands.
I forgot about
And
this
I would
movie.
I
Damn
would
it.
have Idle Hands all day, but that's a different story. But it stars Devon Sawa as Anton. I can't speak right now. Anton Tobias, and he is the stoner type of character that doesn't realize things at first. You know, that's what you assume. It's a fun movie. This is goofy as hell, and his parents in the beginning get killed, and you don't know how. You don't know ever. You know, you just get killed, and you try to figure out who killed his parents. But you find out very fast, very, very interestingly, that his hand is possessed, and his buddies are stoners, and they're the actual, technically, well, even though his parents were the first victims, his buddies are the first victims, which are played by Seth Green, and he plays Mick, and Eldon Henson plays Nub or Panub, or as it says on the Wikipedia thing, and they go there and stuff and everything because right after Anton discovers his dead parents, after he finds out they're dead and murdered, they come in thinking, like, his friends thinking, like, oh man, you did all this, whatever, and he's like, no, it wasn't me. And one of them gets a glass in the head, the other one gets decapitated, and they come back later as zombies who talk shit all the time, which is the funniest part of the whole thing. I mean, if you've never seen Seth Green before do comedy, please see him do comedy. It's hilarious. Watch Robot Chicken. His timing is great with stuff, and I'm not one of the few people who could say that, but he's just a goofball. And this movie, it's a horror film true to the word, but yet it's a comedy true to the word too. And the stuff that happens with Anton, with Jessica Alba's character, who is like the crush and stuff and everything, that he ends up, well, like I said, if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But there's so many good one-liners. I can't think of any right now because I'm 43 and I've seen this movie 100 times. I can't still remember anything. I'm getting the age thing kicking in. But one guy fact, even though I mentioned the Alba thing in the beginning, is a very young, very hot Playboy playmate, now actress Kelly Monaco, is in this movie. And that scene alone is worth the movie. And Fred Willard is also in this movie, who plays Anton's father. And Fred Willard, as you know, is a classic comedian too. So it's really, really worth to check out. It's a classic.
Yes, I'm really mad that I forgot about this. I would have had this on my list for sure. So I'll make it an honorable mention. But yeah, I love this movie, and I remember like I wasn't able to see it in theater, but when it came out to the video store, I like rented it like that first weekend, and I was like, oh my god, this movie's awesome.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And The Offspring plays themselves.
Yeah, and I forgot to say Vivica Fox is in there.
Yes. Indeed, yes, absolutely. Wow, that's a good number one. I'm really mad at myself for getting Idle Hands. Damn. But my actual number one that I wrote down prior to the show, not much got to be said because it was already said, and that is going to be Iron Man. I'm just gonna say I made this my number one just because I am a huge MCU fan. I love like most movies in the MCU.
Same here.
And this was the one that started it all, like Pete said. It was back when it came out in 2000, what that fucking 2010 or some shit, 2008.
Oh, I'll tell you right now. Hold on, I got my notes right.
I think it was 2008 if I remember correctly. I think
2007.
2000. Okay.
No, 2008. 2008.
So it was like back then we had no idea what this movie was gonna launch. Like we just thought it was a typical superhero movie, just it's a comic book movie just based on a comic book, and then that whole at the very end when Nick Fury came out and was like, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative, and then you're like, oh shit. and then they start making Incredible Hulk and Thor and Captain America, and then it's like, yeah, these movies are all in the same universe and they're tied together, and there's one long storyline if you watch them all, and
then you see Thanos and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah and then it's like, but back then we had no idea what this was gonna go to, and old school Iron Man. I love it. I was enamored when I first saw it, and I was very happy. So.
And you were pretty late to the Marvel party, yeah?
Well, I saw this the weekend it opened because I was very excited about it. I was like, "Ooh, that was cool." It looks like a cool movie. I didn't know much about the comic books. I'm not a huge comic book guy, but the movie just looked awesome, and I was like, "Yeah, I saw it." Like I'm pretty sure I saw it very first weekend.
Why did I? Maybe why did I think that you hadn't seen? Maybe it was you saw Iron Man, but it was a lot of the other ones that you didn't
I didn't see Captain America in theaters. Like I saw that on DVD. I didn't see Thor in theaters. I did see Iron Man 2 in theaters. And then Hulk, like the Incredible Hulk movie or whatever it's called, like I felt like it wasn't even in theaters long enough.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, we're building up to an Avengers movie. And so I was like, oh, all right. So I went and watched Thor and Captain America and all that, and then Avengers came out and I saw that opening weekend. So yeah, I saw Iron Man the first week came out.
Awesome.
It was just everything else I didn't get to. All right, Bill, if you're there.
We got the finale, Bill. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. No.
You're muted, Bill, if you, I don't know if you there or not there.
Really?
Okay. All right. Well, while we're sorting out Bill's thing, my other honorable mentions would have been Idle Hands, like I said. It's a Wonderful Life. I would have had that on there as well. I was contemplating Inception because I remember seeing that in theater and being blown away by it. And I was like, oh my God, that is an amazing movie. But then I realized I haven't seen it since the theater. And that was like, what, 7 years ago when that was out?
Something like that, yeah.
So I was like, okay, so maybe I'm not as enamored with it as I am. But but Inception's, still a good movie. What else? I think that's about all I could think of off the top of my head. I didn't write these down. I'm just kind of going. Independence Day, obviously. I loved Independence Day.
All right. Calm down. Is that your recap, or what is going on right now?
No,
I'm just filling time until Bill comes back because I don't know where he is.
Well, honorable mentions for me would be like I Spit on Your Grave. I love the remake.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was really good revenge flick. And then Ip Man was a good one too. With the
Ip Man was good, yeah.
About the guy who taught Bruce Lee everything, and pretty much that's all I'm gonna say. But that was interesting itself. So that's my honorables.
I never got around to Ip Man, believe it or not. I hear a lot about it.
Oh, Insidious would be another one too. Insidious.
Oh, Insidious, yes. So okay, since we're killing time here until Bill gets back, I'm gonna tell this really quick story about seeing Insidious 2 in theaters.
All right.
Okay, I'll try to make this really quick. So when it was out in theaters, this was like 5-6 years ago, I think. I was friends with this girl at work, and she called me one night, and she says, hey, so I agreed to go on this date with this guy that I don't like very much. Is it a chance that you can come with us? Cause I just don't like this guy. And I was like, yeah, sure. I got nothing else to do. He said, what are we doing? She's like, well, he wants to see Insidious 2. And I said, oh, fucking perfect. I want to see Insidious 2. So we go to the movie theater, and the guy didn't know I was showing up. So I showed up with her, and he's like, what is happening? And she's like, oh, this is my friend Jason from work, and he, I just wanted him here just cause. And I had to play, like, this guy. Like, she really wanted to get rid of this guy, so I had to play, like, this kind of crazy guy that she knew, and that I was, like, super protective of her. and so I'm doing all this, like, weird shit to kind of creep this guy out. and so the movie starts, and the entire movie, I'm in this character of this tough guy who's trying to get rid of this guy. And so every time he would, like, try to put his arm around her, I would, like, grab his hand and throw it. So it would be around her. And so then, like, about midway through the movie, the guy, like, left. And he's like, you know what? I gotta go. Something's come up. And I need to just leave. And he left. And he never talked to her again.
That's good, though, man. That's good. That's good being a good friend, though, man. That's like, hey.
I was just like, wow. So, all right, Bill, are you back? Because I'm running out of stories.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Okay, what is your number one?
I got a story here.
Okay.
But it's not your kind of story. It's a boring story. But it's going to explain what happened, and I'm sorry. My mouse, my electronic mouse, of course it's electronic. My
Computer mouse.
wireless. There we go.
Okay.
My wireless mouse froze, which has never happened before. It was weird. So what I did was I found another mouse and plugged it in, and then I was able to unmute my mic.
Oh, okay.
So it was like I said, it's a very boring story, but I figured I should owe you guys an explanation.
All right. Well, we're glad you're back. And what is your number one?
Okay, this was mentioned. I believe Nolahn had this early on. I think that was the only other time, but I could be wrong because I'm not all here today. But Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds, you said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was Olahn's 5, I believe.
It was. We end as we began.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
How about that?
Wow.
And I really do think that in this episode there's been more like picks, like similar taste than there's ever been in the episode. I think.
Yeah, a lot of crossover in this one.
I could be wrong, but I think I don't think there's been this much. Like, we all have a similar taste in movies.
Yes.
Dude, I don't know. Your first two picks, you had like 6. Didn't you have like 6 picks for your first 2?
Yeah.
I think somebody's gonna pick one, dude.
Good point.
Indeed.
That is a good point.
It's a tie.
Okay, well, glad you, Inglourious Basterds. That actually would have been on my honorable mentions as well. So, okay, we're at the point where we're gonna quickly, and I do mean quickly, recap our lists. Just really quickly from 5 through 1, what our list was. So Nolahn, what's your 5 through 1, really quickly?
Okay, number 5 was Inglourious Basterds. Number 4 was The Incredibles. Number 3 was Independence Day. Number 2 was Inside Man, and number 1 was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
All right, Tom.
Hey, I might have missed Bill's number 1. What was Bill's number 1? Just real quick.
Inglourious Basterds.
I don't believe him. Anyway, my number 5 was Indiana Jones. Temple of Doom, they said. Number 4 was Independence Day. Number 3, Inner Space. Not like Bill. Don't get Inner Space. Too good. Number 2 was Idiocracy, which was like really the number 1 of the show. I mean, we'll see later. I don't know. Number 1, It's a Wonderful Life.
It tasted like cream.
All right.
That is my 5.
All right. Pete.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Alrighty. My five is Identity. Number 5. Number 4 is Invisible Man 2020 version. Number 3, Iron Man. Number 2, It, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and the miniseries. And number 1 is Idle Hands.
All right. My number 5 was Inner Space. My number 4 was Identity. My number 3 was Inside. Number 2 was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And my number 1 was Iron Man.
Oh, wow.
Bill.
Whoa.
It's
Bill.
red and black.
All right. My
Red and black.
my number 5 is It Could Happen to You, In and Out, and Impractical Jokers, the movie. My number 4 is Independence Day, I, Robot, I Am Legend. My number 3, It's a Wonderful Life, Frank Capra. My number 2 was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And my number 1 is Inglourious Basterds. And a couple quick, what do we call them? Honorable mentions, like you guys were doing earlier.
Yep.
Yes.
Invasion of Body Snatchers, the original. which
Nice.
I have not. You guys are gonna be like, "What the heck?" But I have not seen that 70s version.
Oh man, you gotta check it out.
It's
awesome.
definitely worth checking out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good.
I'm gonna get on that and
You see
and I
the
gotta
90s
check out
one?
Inside Man. Sorry, go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry.
Did you see the '90s one with Gabriel and I think Gabriel on Wire? I think it was, or
No, I've
Yeah,
only
the
seen the
original.
original, which I love. I almost put it on the list.
yeah, that was a really good version.
That's enough. And I was reminded of who had idle hands.
Me,
Pete. Yeah.
Okay, well, Pete, when you said that, you reminded me of another honorable mention, which is I Know What You Did Last Summer.
oh yeah,
Oh. yeah. Okay.
And Nolahn, just real quick, I think I've learned more from things you just like casually mentioned in this episode than I've learned in all the previous episodes. But
I don't know how I feel about that.
hey, you did give out some good choices, man. I still want to see that the French one. What was the French one's name again?
Oh, Inside. Yes.
Oh, that was Jason that said that.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking Noah. I'm sorry, Noah.
Yeah, it's all good.
I guess that's my night's going here. I'm like,
Okay. Well, let's wrap up the show. Nolahn, thank you so much for coming onto this madhouse.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And we do
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
taking time out to coming onto the show. And I will plug this for Nolahn. He has written a book. It is called Bargain Bin Review. It is on Amazon. It is a bunch of his movie reviews from when he had a bad movie review website, and it's really great,
Nice.
really funny, really insightful, and I very much enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah,
So go check that out.
thank you, Nolan. Have a good night, bud. Nice meeting you, by the way.
We're working on an ending for this show. It's been really awkward these past 9 episodes, so we're trying to get that sorted through here.
Can I ask something real quick?
Yes.
What we could still find the Lair of the Unwanted, right? Still
It's out there. It is out on a podcast site. If you do a search for it, you'll find episodes. I don't know what the order will be, but that you will see episodes. There are episodes. All of them are out there for you to check out. All 11 years worth of bad movies.
Yep,
are out
they're
there.
at the Lair of the Unwanted.blogspot.com.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you. I was trying to think what the hell that was. Yes.
Well,
Thank you, because
In 6
Yes.
months, when I get this episode on the YouTube, I'll put that in the link.
Okay, let's try to do some kind of an ending here. So,
Thank
Bill,
you
Pete,
for
Bill,
all the
Pete, and Tom.
love.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you
And-
for pretty much taking over because I was not really here.
Hey, that's part of my job duty. So I yeah. So
Oh, and thank you. All three of you guys did excellent without me last time.
Yeah.
yes.
I actually was under control last time, which is awesome.
I noticed that. I noticed that.
Yes, you were honed in. So this podcast you're listening to right now is found on a bunch of different platforms: Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, a bunch of stuff I've never heard of that Bill found while Googling one night. I don't even know what all those are. So you can check this out anywhere.
And Jason, Jason, let me do like I did last week since we're doing an ending. I just want to do like last week. Please share this with your friends on Facebook,
Yes.
on Twitter, on Instagram, on anything. You can
Indeed,
find
yes.
us basically anywhere now. I mean, not anywhere, but please, you will love us. Trust me, this is always fun to do. So enjoy, everybody, please.
And I will quickly say I have another podcast called Whatever with Jason Soto. It's a comedy show I do with my friend Mary. It is out every week, also on Anchor and Spotify. All right, I think that's good enough of an ending. Let's just quit while we're ahead. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Till next episode.